I mean, I really got to sit with Tyson, go out to a couple of dinners, and really see where his head's at.
Bob Arum has finally spoken regarding the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, and he's not seeing anything good for Tyson. He has issued a stern warning to Mike Tyson to avoid the fight after seeing some fierce signs from Jake Paul in the face-off. Could he be seeing something we're not seeing? Ever since the fight was announced on the 7th of March, 2024, it's been greeted by diverse moods and opinions among the supporters and professionals of the sport. Undoubtedly, there are those who believe in the evergreen abilities of Iron Mike Tyson. Hence, they feel any version of Mike Tyson, regardless of the age and health limitations, is a mountain that an influencer boxer like Jake Paul cannot surmount. They believe so much in the ability of the boxing legend to revive his young self and show up in the ring with as much power and athleticism that characterized his career some decades ago, giving him huge achievements, like being the undisputed world heavyweight champion for 3 years.
Well, you know, the comparison is somewhat unfair because we never had...
However, while the others respect Tyson's achievements and everything he's done in the ring, they feel the Iron Mike Tyson they used to know is out of existence, and the man that'll be going into the ring on July 20th is an entirely different person, incapable of conquering Jake Paul on the day. They see no chance for a miracle, as they smell not just an ordinary defeat, but a devastating defeat for the former world champion who will be fighting a boxer 31 years younger than him when they get into the ring on July 20th. But Tyson hasn't given his naysayers a listening ear. Instead, he's doing everything in his power to prove them wrong and show the entire world of boxing that the man once the baddest man on the planet is always the baddest man on the planet.
And it was from Japan, and we were watching it in a restaurant in Las Vegas, Piero's, and Bruce big screen, and Bruce.
Mike Tyson has been showing up on screens with intense workout and sparring sessions, commonly seen with his trainer, Rafael Cordero, practicing and training hard ahead of the bout. His training sessions have impressed many and have convinced many of his naysayers that he's still got the iron in him. Jake Paul has even admitted to being scared of Iron Mike Tyson after seeing some of his training footage, with his girlfriend foreseeing a possible knockout for her partner.
What do you think about me fighting Mike?
I think you're gonna win, but he's the competitor that is like the most scary to me.
Yeah, he is.
What if he knocks you out? Like, is that your last fight?
He's not.
Regardless, some remain doubtful of Mike Tyson. And even before sanctioning the bout as a pro fight, Mike Tyson had fired shots at those who questioned his decision to return to the ring. In an interview, the baddest man on the planet lashed out at his doubters and even accused most of them of expressing jealousy, rather than the care they think they're expressing. "I'm 58 and what? I'm getting billions of views just from talking to somebody from fighting," Mike Tyson stated in a recent interview discussing his boxing match against Jake Paul. "Everybody, even most of the athletes, they're jealous. That's whack. I say in your prime, you couldn't draw 1 million people, man. What are you talking about? You couldn't sell out an arena. Who at 58 could sell out an 80,000 seat arena?"
To be fighting a guy who's 28.
Well, I'm beautiful.
Now Bob Arum has joined the discussion, and he isn't sounding so pleased with Mike Tyson, especially after seeing their face-off. While their face-off didn't really carry any aura of adversity and hatred, Arum feels Jake Paul's new physique and mindset seems like one ready to end the boxing legend. He recalled Mike Tyson's heydays and claimed it would have been a brutal murder of Jake Paul, should this have happened 30 years ago. But with the current situation, it's unlikely Tyson dominates the match, not even after what Bob Arum figured from the face-off. In a comment on a YouTube channel, top-ranked CEO Bob Arum spoke about the upcoming match between blogger and boxer Jake Paul and former undisputed champion Mike Tyson. He said, "I spent some time with Tyson in Riyadh. I've never seen Tyson so calm and well-behaved. He's really a nice person now, and Jake Paul is a nice guy. If this was 20 years ago, this fight would be a joke. There would need to be an ambulance at the arena because Tyson would do to Paul what he did to many opponents, knock him out quickly. At his current age, he's old for an athlete. And the question is whether he still has the muscle response an athlete needs to do what he wants to do. And I don't know if he does. I don't think Jake Paul is the second coming of Muhammad Ali in any way. A good competitive evening for Jake Paul could be against Tommy Fury. Remember, they fought, and in my opinion, Fury beat him quite easily. Therefore, he's at that level.
Fair, because we never had, when Ali was fighting, and later when George fought, guys of that stature.
He then continued, but again, how can anyone predict what will happen when you're in the ring with a 58-year-old fighter? Great baseball pitchers are only a shadow of themselves after 50. They know the mechanics, but their abilities are gone due to age. He then spoke about the financial prospects of the match and the involvement of Netflix. I just hope nobody gets hurt. I'm glad Mike will make a lot of money. The fight will not be on PPV. It will be on Netflix. And Netflix is trying to attract sports-loving viewers and also test its ability to attract advertisers. There's no harm in it. Really, no one is being deceived here. People will not be charged 50 pounds or even 25 pounds to watch this. He also added,
in those days, were no good. Again, when I was growing,
all you need to do is subscribe to Netflix. Netflix has over 100 million subscribers worldwide, so I see no harm in this. I know whoever referees this fight, if he sees Mike having problems because of his age, he will stop the fight. I can't criticize this fight. I think Netflix made a very good move by putting all their money into this event. You have to be relaxed about these things. It's still boxing. Guys are still putting on gloves. People are still talking about boxing, even if it's Jake Paul against old Mike Tyson. So I think it's really good for the sport. But again, that's just my opinion, said Arum. Well, it's very interesting to see that Bob Arum isn't the only one bothered about Mike Tyson's well-being in this match, as many other boxing professionals have the same concern, especially after the face-offs. The paranoid Oscar De La Hoya was one of the very first to talk about this in an interview, and from his response, it was glaring that he wasn't buying the pro-fight claims, as it was again confirmed in the face-off they had this week. In an interview with TMZ Sports, the Golden Boy warned Iron Mike to be careful. I'm gonna pray for Mike Tyson, because I love Mike Tyson, De La Hoya said. I think Jake Paul, look, he's a real fighter. He really is. It's a dangerous fight. Mike Tyson, be careful, please. Well, there's little surprise regarding Oscar De La Hoya's worries, having also appeared on the screen about a month ago to express his concerns about the matchup. Look, I'm a purist. Have I been involved in these kinds of fights? No! Look, this is what I feel. Jake Paul, you say you want to be the world champion? You say you want to take the sport seriously? Then take it serious, De La Hoya said in an interview when asked about Tyson versus Jake Paul's bout.
Look, this is what I feel. Jake Paul, you say you want to be a world champion. You say you want to take this.
He sounded disappointed at Jake Paul for considering taking on Mike Tyson in the first place, claiming he was acting against his words of taking the sport seriously. What is this? This is not a popularity contest. I'm actually praising Jake Paul here for taking this seriously because I really truly feel if he fights the right fights and takes the right path to that world title, he can actually get there. He then tipped Paul to go as far as he wants, but only if he fights the right fights.
You want to take this sport serious. Then take it serious. What is this? This is not a popularity contest.
I'm not sure because it's up to him if he can win it, but he can get there. But he's not going to get there through Mike Tyson. He's going to make a shitload of money. He's going to gain more popularity at Mike Tyson's expense. Do I like it? No, because I love Mike Tyson. He further expressed his dislike for the fight and his belief as to who's a right opponent for Jake Paul. He claimed Mike Tyson is not a right fight for Jake Paul. He hasn't earned it. We have to keep it into perspective. This is entertainment, I guess. This is a fight that is going to do great business all over the world. More power to them. But last time I heard, Jake Paul was very serious about the sport. All I'm saying is make your money, but take the sport seriously. Despite his love for Mike, he felt Mike was too old for the fight and only hoped he came out of it safe. It's going to be dangerous for Tyson, but it won't be dangerous for Tyson because Tyson's been up in the ring with monsters. He has a chin and I'm sure he can go 6 rounds, 7 rounds, 8 rounds, but I'm just concerned about Tyson's legacy. I've never seen a 57-year-old fighter in the ring against a strong bull like Jake Paul. I think it'll be sad for Tyson. I'm not sure how or which way it affects boxing because a lot of eyeballs are going to be watching. I grew up with Tyson. Hopefully, he stays safe up there.
And I guess this is a fight that is going to do great business all over the world. More power to them, but last time I heard, Jake Paul was very serious about this sport. All I'm saying is, yeah, make your money, but
Also, one of Jake Paul's most intense rivals during his feud with mixed martial artists has been Michael Bisping, the former middleweight world champion who has little time for his behavior in fight buildups. The Brit believed that there was no possible winning for Paul in this fight, with the best case scenario being he knocks out an aged legend decades past their best. If Jake Paul loses, listen, it's Mike Tyson, but still come on. Bisping joked during an episode of his Believe You Me podcast. Like Dennis, Bisping sees nothing special in the bout for Jake Paul, but as a foe, he surely would wish Tyson a big win to send Jake Paul out of boxing once and for all.
Paul.
No, I really like Jake a lot, you know, but once he's in that ring, he has to fight like his life is dependent on it, because it will be.
It's going to be
more action.
It's going to be a firefight, more punches, and it's going to be a sprint in there, so I think it's more entertaining for the fans.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of sprints because that's what I'm doing a lot of.
He's 58 years old, but stop it. If you lose, never show your face again. Then if Jake Paul knocks out a 58-year-old man that's called elderly abuse, you can't win here other than a lot of money. It's only 2 minutes per round, but if you've never boxed or fought, you underestimate how long 2 minutes is. Mike Tyson, yeah, he's 58, and the rounds are only 2 minutes long. I think he's still going to get tired after 3 rounds. That said, Jake Paul leaves tremendously massive openings, and he's never fought anyone like Mike Tyson. He went the distance with Nate Diaz, he beat Nate Diaz, and I'm not getting at him because he's great, a cult icon. However, while Bedarian, the announcer, is celebrating, boxing fans are voicing their contempt at the decision to make Paul's fight with Tyson a professional contest. One person tweeted, "Absolutely disgraceful." Another said, "Nobody wins. It's a lose-lose-lose for everyone, including Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and fight fans around the world." Someone else wrote, "Freaking disgusting." A fourth person fumed, "Disgraceful that from the commission letting someone fight with a 30-year age difference." While fans and other professionals may question the decision of the governing body to sanction the fight as a pro bout, it's been confirmed earlier that enough medical precautions must have been taken before the sanction. Mike Tyson must have undergone a brain scan and other scans to ensure he was in great shape ahead of the fight. And with the 2-minute rounds in globe size, there's a better chance for Mike Tyson to come up with a win. However, in an article for The Conversation, a senior lecturer in medicine at Anglia Ruskin University, Stephen Hughes, had also highlighted that Tyson is at risk of suffering a tearing of the veins in his brain known as a subdural hematoma. Hughes explained, "Bleeding from these torn veins causes a collection of blood that presses on the brain. This causes confusion, loss of consciousness, neurological disability, and in some cases, death." I recall a patient, a boxer who had previously sustained a subdural hematoma and had a physical disability and terrible depression. These were devastating permanent effects. According to Hughes, the immediate effects may be minimal and the boxer may recover sometimes.
Too old to be fighting a guy who's 28.
Well, I'm beautiful.
For stepping up to try to put an end to me, because that's what all these fighters have been trying to do, is end the YouTuber. And if Mike can do that, then he's a hero.
Is that the goal here?
And at other times, the effects may be more damaging. He went on to say that as people age, these veins become more vulnerable. While an accelerating factor of this is something that Mike Tyson has openly suffered with in the past. A subdural hematoma can occur. In this condition, shearing forces cause tearing of bridging veins between the brain and blood vessels within the brain coverings, or meninges. Bleeding from these torn veins causes a collection of blood that presses on the brain. This causes confusion, loss of consciousness, neurological disability, and in some cases, death. In older people, the brain tends to lose volume. This lengthens the bridging veins and makes them more vulnerable to rupture. It's known to accelerate brain shrinkage, and it appears that Tyson has this as a past risk factor. Shearing forces on the brain cause injury to neurons' brain cells. Another major cause of fear has been an injury that forced Tyson into using crutches just about a year ago. And despite Mike Tyson's trainer, Rafael Cordero, coming out to explain that it was no cause for worry, only a few were unmoved by it. In his interview, Cordero explained the back pain and how it all started. Mike's had back pain since he was a kid, Cordero said. We're always looking after his back in training. He moves a lot to the side and that takes a toll. And since he travels a lot, he was using the crutches to help him stand straight after long flights.
I'm super excited. It's a professional team. It's not something that just like will be entertainment. No, it's going to be a fight. This is why we truly believe in Ariel. The way I train Mike is the same way I train my boys to fight in MMA. So there's no difference. And sometimes I can see on Mike something they can inspire.
Mike Tyson must have made this decision, seeing many boxers have brain issues before their death, and at such an age, it is wiser to reduce the amount of risks he takes. Mike Tyson's hero, Muhammad Ali, died of an ailment related to the brain that was said to have been showing symptoms before his retirement. For much of his career, boxing great Muhammad Ali was convinced that his brain wouldn't be affected by the thousands of powerful, crippling blows he received from his opponents. Ali's style was quite different and strange. Often he'd be seen motivating his opponent to throw more punches at him, believing they would eventually get tired from doing so. Then, after their tiredness, he'll come striking. Jonathan Egg, who wrote a biography of the boxing legend, said, "He kept saying it wasn't going to happen to him, that he wasn't going to get brain damage. In fact, he encouraged his sparring partners to hit him in the head. He believed he could build up resistance to shots to the head, kind of like calluses." With an all-encompassing focus on his private and public lifestyle, A chronicled the life of the three-time heavyweight champion whom, he said, Ali made people really rethink what it meant to be an athlete. He changed the country and the world. There had never been an African-American athlete who spoke up the way he did and demanded to be treated as more than an entertainer. However, it was Ali's struggle with neurological damage, painstakingly detailed by Egg, that remains very applicable in relation to Mike Tyson today. In an effort to pin down exactly when the boxer first began to exhibit symptoms of brain damage, Jonathan Egg interviewed speech scientists, statisticians, and even Ali's longtime doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. According to Egg, Ferdy, Ali's doctor, told me that he thought he first saw signs of real brain damage as early as 1971, when he was 29, after Ali's fight with Joe Frazier, said Egg. Together with two statisticians, Egg reviewed footage of all of Ali's fights and determined that he was probably hit about 200,000 times during the course of his 61-fight career, which ended with his retirement in 1981. Roughly half of those blows, he estimated, were to the head. He absorbed way more blows than the average fighter because, as he got older and slower, part of his strategy was to allow his opponents to hit him. He thought he could wear down his opponents by letting them punch him in the head, then wait until the late rounds when they're tired and beat them. Elsewhere, Bob Arum is heavily fighting against a decision that might see the undisputed world heavyweight title fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk scored by 6 judges instead of 3. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman has a hot proposition for the Ring of Fire fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury on May 18th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. With the undisputed heavyweight title on the line in the blockbuster fight, Suleiman wants to avoid a potential judging catastrophe by instituting 6 judges instead of the customary 3. Suleiman sent an emergency petition last month to the WBO, WBA, and IBF, as well as Fury and Usyk and their promoters, requesting a green light for the 6-judge panel. Bob Arum, top-ranked CEO and Fury's co-promoter, is opposed to the idea. You don't put in something like that for the first time dealing with a major fight from the standpoint of visibility and importance, Arum told Boxing Scene. Maybe 6 judges are better than 3? I doubt that, but maybe. Nobody knows because it hasn't been done, but at least you experiment with that with fights that are not as prominent. With all due respect to my friend Mauricio, who's a really good guy, loves the sport of boxing and has done a great job with the WBC, I wouldn't do it for this fight. I wouldn't say that you don't experiment with it for another fight. I don't believe the judging becomes better because you have 6 judges rather than 3. Suleiman believes that if more judges score the fight, there will be less probability of silly and controversial scorecards should a judge have a bad night.
Japan, and we were watching it in a restaurant in Las Vegas, Piero's, and Bruce Tramp, big screen.
Frank Warren, Queensberry Promotions boss and Fury's co-promoter, has separately dismissed the idea of 6 judges. As Suleiman waits for the blessing of his idea, he recently had Pope Francis personally bless and sign a WBC commemorative belt that will be awarded to the winner. Fury and Usyk will have a rematch regardless of the result, and Arum noted it could take place as early as October for the opening of Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia. And that's all for now. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Until next time, peace out.